You will have 1 minute response to the question. And we're going to start with Gary. The question is, the incumbents here tonight have shown through their actions where they stand. So this question is for the challengers. Well, technically it's for everyone, but what actions would you take to return the casino building to profitability, and what are your thoughts regarding the municipal pool and parking lots?
For the municipal building, I would try to get a realtor company down there that could try to rent the upstairs out to get something going. There's got to be good people in this town that can do that. And as for the pool, I think some more advertising, bring it back, maybe more hours down there, especially during the season. It could get some more interest in it. And what did you say, parking? I don't know if we need a parking garage down there or not. Does it ever need more parking during daytime or during the holidays? It does?
Yes.
Well, then I'll check into a parking garage.
15 seconds.
See if that's feasible. Thank you.
I think also that we can look into renting out the top floor of the casino building. As far as parking goes, if there's not enough parking, we should get more parking, so the parking garage makes perfect sense to me. The pool, that's a tricky subject. I agree with advertising. I think 9 out of 10 people I talk to don't even know we have a pool. So getting the word out there more that we do have a pool. And ultimately, it's a public place, it's a public park, it's available to everybody, so it's not important that we make a huge profit on it. We don't make a profit on any of the other parks in town, so why do we need to make such a huge profit on this? And parking already right now makes us money. So we don't need to, the pool can be a resource for people, it doesn't have to turn a profit.
Our questions, regardless of how they're written on here, are for everybody unless you decide to pass.
All right, so the question is, what do we do with the casino building and the pool?
I'll read you the question. The incumbents here tonight have shown through their actions where they stand. So this question is for the challengers. What actions would you take to return the casino building to profitability, and what are your thoughts regarding the municipal pool and parking lots?
Let's start with the casino building. As anybody that's followed this issue for more than 5 or 6 years, you know that I was against rebuilding that casino building. Even though it needed to be replaced, I felt that the timing of the investment was ill-advised. The economy was in a slump. We could have used that $6, $8, $10, or $12 million to invest in our infrastructure, the Department of Commerce, to create jobs for the folks who need jobs. But it was decided to rebuild the casino. And the point is, that money that was used to build that casino was to have been repaid to the city. And we have not repaid that money back as we were scheduled to do so. So the answer is not about whether the building should be profitable. We'd all like it just to be there and be a wonderful thing to look at. The reality of it is, a commitment was made to each and every one of you in this room to repay that money. They came from your utilities that you paid for 100 years, excess utility bills.
15 seconds.
And it's only right that we made a promise to you that we keep that promise. As far as the pool's concerned, we have 2 or 3 dozen people a day that use that pool. We're losing hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, and we've got to find a different solution than what we're doing right now. Marketing is not the answer. Thank you.
My understanding that the beach is making money. I know that the pool is not doing very well. And in real estate, we have this saying called you need to put lipstick on that pig. As far as the parking goes, I think it's a simple situation of supply and demand. I think during the peak season, we need to increase rates, either have tiered or structured rates for peak hours. Certainly during the summer, when it's mostly all of the residents here, we don't want to get rich off of our residents. But when it's snowbirds and people who don't live here year round, I think we can all see that there's a loop around that beach, and they all keep just circling and circling and circling. And so we can certainly make more money at that beach, and I think that's the solution. Thank you.
I think that First of all, everyone doesn't realize that the upstairs space that everyone keeps talking about renting, we're in the process and have been for a long time in litigation over that space. It hasn't been able to be leased out because we've got several problems that I can't discuss because it is illegal. But there are leaky ceilings, water intrusion through the doorways that actually come inside the space. There's been litigation actually involving that, and we're trying to get it fixed so that the space can actually be leased out. As for the pool, I said I've always been a strong proponent of the pool. I love the pool, I use the pool. I don't get to use it as much as I used to, but it's not about making a profit. Everyone keeps saying this word profit. You have to pay your mortgage every month, right?
15 seconds.
We have to pay our bills. We need to have enough money coming in to sustain the amenities. And it's our job to create new amenities and resources that everyone can enjoy at the beach. And it will always be public, and it will always be ours.
And let me just finish where the mayor left off. The beach is beautiful. There's no one in this room that doesn't say the beach isn't beautiful. But we inherited a bad business plan. The commission that came before us left us with a building that does not pay for itself. And yes, the building should pay for itself. I will accept that, you know, the half of the beach might be a park, but when you put a building on it, the building needs to pay for itself. We brought in $1.6 million last year in parking revenue, but that parking revenue paid for the building, so the building does not pay for itself. If you have a piece of rental property and you rent it out, you want it to at least break even. And we are also not paying back our loan. This year is the first year that we're paying ourselves back. And the Vice Mayor made a comment where, you know, we should at least pay ourselves back. That was a commitment we made to the taxpayers, and we are not doing that. So to say that the building is making money is just not true until we start paying the loan back.
Thank you. The next question, we're going to start with Bryant. This question is, actually, it's addressed for Mr. Bryant.
We're going to make you work for it.
I got practice. Sorry, I didn't practice your name before coming here. At the Playhouse today, you said the roads in Lake Worth could be fixed for $20 million. What is your source for that figure, and what facts is it based on? Remember, the question is for everybody. Use your creativeness.
I don't know.
It cannot be done for $20 million.
I'm trying to think back, I may have misspoke, but you know, I think a lot of people, you know, there was the big bond issue, and I think there was a lot of people with big debt, and it barely, you know, didn't go through, and I think a lot of people want the roads done, so I think it's something we do need to rethink. I'm out there listening to people, and they want the roads fixed. Whether it's special carve-outs, I also realize that there's a lot of money being spent on the POC right now, roughly $11 million. I'd like to see some of that money. Certainly, the CRA is retiring a bunch of debt this year, and we can spend that money in Tropical Ridge, which is part of the CRA, to build the roads and infrastructure. There are also a ton of advocacy groups, bicycle advocacy groups, that can help in building the infrastructure where we need it. Thank you.
As I mentioned earlier, we've already done the analysis of exactly what we need. And putting a plan together involved doing it all, and the costs were involved was doing it all at the same time. Because the way the city worked previously was one department would come in and tear up the road and replace a pipe. Then they would pave the road. Then 6 months later, another person would come in and work on the sewer lines and tear up the road that was just paved. And then repave it again. And then it was trying to do economies of scale, do all the projects at the same time to try to make it happen. Well, that was voted down. Fine, but we're still working on it. In addition, the Department of Commerce that was mentioned, we've always been going after grants. We've already got a $1.4 million EA grant on the way that we've received preliminary approval on. We're going back for the $3.5 million. The county's giving us money So we're working on improving our infrastructure and finding the money to do it, and we do have a plan, and it's public records. Everyone, feel free to take a look at it and see the conditions the road is in.
And to continue on that, the Park of Commerce, the CRA, my opponent mentioned both of them. I'm the liaison to the CRA, and there's some confusion about what we're doing in the Park of Commerce, what we're doing in the CRA. The CRA, the monies that come into the CRA and the grants that we get are for specific things. Same thing in the Park of Commerce. When I get a lot of, well, why can't you take that $1 million and put it in my neighborhood? The grants that we get through the CRA and the money that we get through the Park of Commerce are specific pieces for the things that we can do in the city. They can only be done and used in certain areas, and we look for that. Especially the CRA. The CRA is made up of 4 individuals that get millions and millions and millions of dollars in grants. And what we do is we sit down every week and we go through databases and we look for those grant possibilities and then say, well, we can work that here. We can put new lighting. We just got a grant for the west side for lighting. So when you hear about the grants, they don't work in all the neighborhoods. But we're working to try to find grants that work in every neighborhood.
I don't know, like $20 million, but according to the TV the other day, Stewart's doing 4 miles of road, curb, and sidewalks for $1.5 million. So I think maybe we should check into them and see how they're doing it so cheap if we're going to be so expensive.
Okay, thank you. Okay, further notice. Scott will be the first person answering the question. The question is, how would you help lessen the crime and public defecation, urination that is going on in the downtown area businesses? Please give a few examples.
So you're asking me how you want me to change somebody's behavior.
Answer any way you want.
All right. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, many of you have seen an uptick in homelessness in our downtown corridor. Make no mistake about it, it's no coincidence. Okay? There's no crime in being homeless. It's not a crime to be homeless. And homeless folks, like each of us, the demographic groups, we all deserve to be treated with respect. But conversely, those individuals also need to treat us with respect. And that respect begins with the basic fundamentals of being civil. And that is not urinating and defecating in public. There are many opportunities for folks to use a restroom in a restaurant, or a store, or a gas station, just like any of us might do if we had to, needed to go to the bathroom. Unfortunately, we're going to have to work very diligently with some of the social service agencies here in the county to help with the homeless problem.
15 seconds.
I attended a homeless event on Friday afternoon at the United Methodist Church, and it's an array of services that are available to the homeless. I think it's incumbent on all of us to encourage these homeless individuals when we come in contact with them to avail themselves of those services to make their lives better. Thank you.
First of all, I wouldn't pass an ordinance that doesn't have any teeth and plunge us head first into a lawsuit. But I do want to say that I've already done the work for you. I've reached out to a non-advocacy group in Orlando, and they have been very successful with the homeless. They actually, I'm very excited to announce, they placed 1,000 homeless veterans in just over 3 years. And I thought that was ecstatic. And this is something that we can all work with. And I'm meeting with this gentleman on Friday. I would love to sit with the mayor, and Shelley, Ms. Vanna, and anybody else who wants to attend and give some ideas to the city to make this a solution. Thank you.
Crime in our downtown is of genuine concern. And this issue is touched on many nerves across the board, because you have to have a heart and you have to have compassion for people, which I do, and anyone who knows me knows that I do. But you also have to remember that there are crimes happening in there. The city's first act was to create an ordinance that gives transportation to the Lewis Center when we first started. In addition to that, in the last year, we have a new facility in our city, which is the Lord's Place. We also have another facility that just opened up, which is Goodwill. And Shelley Manna, Commissioner Manna, has also been working on new housing that's going to address some of the issues. We're not alone in this is a national issue. But we also have to be very cognizant of the crime that's happening in our downtown and take measures to make sure that that is first on our mind as well. Thank you.
First of all, it's about the crime in the downtown. I'm a small business owner. I can't tell you how many times I've cleaned up those human feces and other things on the front of my business, and there's other merchants in the room tonight, and they can tell you about their stories. It's not about homelessness, it's about crime and safety. It's about the safety for the children and the families that visit our downtown. It's about the people that come to beautiful Lake Worth. It's not healthy, it's not safe. I pushed forward with the ordinance, and again, it wasn't anything about homelessness. If somebody is truly homeless, like June, the woman in the wheelchair that's been sitting in front of my store for 2 years last month, it was a good day for June. Every morning I would come in and say, June, let's get you a house today. And she said, I'm not ready today. Last month, she said she was ready, and she's off the street. She went to the Lewis Center, and I visited her last week. She's doing great. So it's about that. If they truly need help, we will get them help. But if you're doing drugs in our downtown, or desecrating some of our businesses, then it's not acceptable.
A lot of these homeless people have a problem, they're either addicts or they have a mental problem. And we don't know how many of them are reaching out for help. And if this is the only way they know how to reach out for help, we should be talking to somebody on how to treat them. Maybe we should meet more with the churches and see what kind of response we can get with them at the end, and get everybody together on the same page.
It's true that being homeless is not public, but it sure is getting there in Lake Worth. Homeless people are getting ticketed for sleeping, which is their right to do. And with this new ordinance, it will be illegal for them to be in the light of day, or in the night, where it's safer for them to be. They're getting tickets now for public lodging when they try to sleep. As far as the bathrooms go, it would be easy. Most of us can just walk into a gas station and say, hi, I'd like to use your bathroom. But when you don't look like this, you can't do that. It's that simple. The public library now requires an ID just to use the bathroom. So I know it sounds simple. If I need to use the bathroom, I can just go use the bathroom, but that's not how reality works. As far as combating crime and blight, I think Charlotte, who spoke before, hit the nail on the head. If more people are out in their neighborhoods and meeting their neighbors and talking to the people around them, that makes the neighborhood safer. People are less likely to commit crimes, not people they know. And if you know all your neighbors and you know when someone else is walking through your neighborhood, then crime diminishes.
Time.
Thank you. Okay, this is seems to be a more specific question to the question we had before. For the incumbents, why have you been unable to find the right realtor to rent our empty casino restaurant for 4.5 years? For the challengers, how will you find the right realtor when you are elected? Anybody want to speak? Let's leave Bryant starts.
I'm sorry.
For the incumbents, why have you been unable to find the right realtor to rent our empty casino restaurant for 4.5 years? For the challengers, how will you find the right realtor when you are elected?
Well, first of all, not as a company, but you got to work with a lot of different people, and there are a lot of different people in this city that we can work with. And we're going to have that same situation in a lot of different places. I know the Gulf Street's trying to sell their property, we're getting it in possibly, I'm sorry. And, but I think it's just a matter of working with people and trying to find the best opportunity for the city, listen to the people, and we will make this all work and move forward. Thank you.
I think I already answered this question earlier about this absolute. It's in litigation, it's leaking, there are several severe issues about it, and we're trying to address those. A lot of people don't know, there's not even a certificate of occupancy on the casino building yet. How long have we been open? There's no CO on that.
4 years.
Yes, so there's a temporary city CO wanted to operate, but I'm telling you right now, there's a lot of issues that still need to be resolved. It's in the space in it. Trust me, I've probably shown it more than most realtors have in the last several years. It's a beautiful building, and I can't wait for it to be completely occupied.
And again, I think the mayor hit it on the head. We don't have a CO up there. It's kind of hard to rent something, so as far as getting a realtor that can sell it, I don't think we're really there. And, you know, just to add to that, our regular ballroom is still flooding. Our elevators rust. The doors don't shut. You know, again, we inherited a bad business plan because they didn't think it through. So to even think about, you know, what would go through for somebody to rent it. We've had people come and look at it, but, you know, the work that they would have to put into it is just not, you know, suitable for their needs at this point. So, I don't think we're at the point of hiring a realtor. We need to get through our litigation and fix the problem so we actually have a nice place to rent.
Well, if it's in litigation, there's not that much you can do right now. Nobody knows how long that's going to take. But there still should be something we can do up there to temporary rent. If we don't have a CO on the rest of the building, why can't we do it on the part that's up there? Patch it and get it going to litigation. Thank you.
I don't know whose fault it is. I'm hearing a lot of finger pointing, but obviously we need to get through this litigation and fix up the building and figure out how to rent it. Like Gary just said, we're going for litigation now, so that's nothing we can do.
Well, I don't want to use the word fault, but the reality of it is, ladies and gentlemen, the initial realtor that we had contracted with, first words out of his mouth were we couldn't rent it upstairs. That it wasn't rentable, it wasn't marketable. I didn't believe it, but he insisted that it wasn't marketable. Somehow or another, he took it and he was able to place many of the existing tenants with a lot of force, so we did that part of it, further work on his part. We got another tenant downstairs. And recently on the final minute, he came up with a potential restaurant that would have taken both the upstairs and the downstairs. But unfortunately, the commission rejected that idea. We had better ideas. Which maybe in hindsight wasn't such a bad deal because given the construction flaws, they would have been locked in a different type of lawsuit. That would have been on the part of the folks that tried to law. So the bottom line is, until we fix that building and make it the way it was originally designed, it's going to be very, very difficult, very challenging to find anybody on planet Earth to be able to market that space and get us what we need to pay the bills. Thank you.
Starting to lose my memory of start. Okay, again, the question is for everyone, but it starts out for Gary. With your self-acknowledged lack of social media and internet knowledge, how can you effectively work as a mayor since these are tools that are used daily? I'm sorry.
I think,
Daily.
I think that it's important to know, I mean, we have, it's very interesting. I owned an advertising, marketing, and public relations firm for 19 years, and yet sometimes I can't even do my own job as the mayor. So there are people that handle some of those different types of responsibilities, but obviously having a pulse on the community and what's going on and how these things work is very important. Overseeing, because of my experience in the past, I was able to oversee the complete transformation of the website. Everything, when people talk about transparency, that website is designed to put everything. Half the questions that people ask, even some of the candidates behind me, are available by public record on our website. You can get the answers to all these things on our website. It was never there before, because I believe in total transparency, and I believe that everyone's opportunity to get the information they need when they need it, and that's what technology does for a city.
Again, in this day and age, social media is huge. Again, transparency. There's nothing non-transparency about my social media. You'll see me on Twitter, you'll see me on Facebook. By the way, we have a brand new Facebook out for the campaign, Andy Amoroso for commissioner. Come by and visit. And you'll see the last 4 years of transparency. You'll see the pictures, you'll see the events, you'll see everything that I've been doing with the CRA, the liaison to the CRA. You'll see everything. I am actually the liaison to the arts and entertainment. So there's not one event that goes on in the city of Lake Worth that I'm not part of, that I don't help with, either in front of the scenes or schlepping water or behind the scenes. So again, social media is huge, and to have a disconnect to social media, I just don't know in this day and age how you cannot have social media.
Well, I'm not ashamed that I don't know it. I did have, in my business, I don't need it, but if I do get elected, I guess I'll have to learn fast and get on to speed with all of you. Thank you.
So the question is, how is Gary going to be a good mayor if he doesn't know social media? I vow today that if Gary is elected mayor, I will teach him how to use Facebook.
Gary, I feel your pain. I'm still trying to figure out the facts machine. Look, social media is important, and as the mayor kind of alluded to, we have the IT staff, and it's not so much about any one of our individual abilities. I think it's more about the city's ability to embrace the social media concept and use it to our advantage to communicate to the people what's going on in our community. And I've heard transparency throughout, or lack of transparency in a cheap suit. And I would challenge anybody in this room, anybody in this city, to come up forth and demonstrate a time when it's not complete, total, full measure of transparency in the city. You can look these things up on the internet, you can do a public records request, and these allegations of backroom meetings, again, the challenge is out there. You can prove that any one of us in a backroom meeting,